Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the TJR Auto channel. My name is Tyler, and in today's video, we're still standing in front of my broken garage door. I am going to fix a very sketchy, major recall issue with a couple of zip ties. So before I go outside, since I can't pull my car inside since my garage door is still broken, it does not open, quick story time as to what the I am talking about. I've been daily driving Bonnie. Have had no issues. So, drove Bonnie to work, no problems. Driving Bonnie home today, and as I'm coming up to my street, it's a 90-degree angle to get onto my street from a very main road that is local. And, you know, I'm downshift rev matching, throw my blinker on, braking. I have a green light to make my 90-degree angle right turn. And as I'm slowing down, you know, almost at the point of grabbing my wheel to whip that thing to make said 90-degree angle right turn, there was a very loud clunk noise, let's say, and like almost like a pop, like a clunk and or pop. And I had music playing, so I heard it, but I wasn't, you know, it kind of took a second. But then it really set in right after that noise when the steering wheel felt really tight midway through the turn. Now, mind you, as I'm taking this 90-degree turn, right, I'm like midway through, so I'm like here. So as I'm there, when the steering wheel's hard after it just popped, I'm staring a man in the eyes, and he looks frightened. He's like sitting here, and I'm going to make my 90, right, and I'm like here. For that split second where we locked eyes, I was concerned because of how frightened he looked. Now, my assumption to the situation is he probably looked a little frightened because a sexy grandma mobile was coming hot, coming in hot, downshift rev matching like a beast, right? Making beautiful 4.6 noises that only a Mustang should make, but instead a four-door land yacht is making. He may have been admiring my ride before I took this turn, but I think mid-turn when when my steering got really tight, I think he was scared I was gonna crash right into him. And you know, that's a fair assumption because I kind of thought the same thing for a second, all right? I yanked that thing way harder than I thought I would need to. And I took the turn majestically, right? Didn't even like overturn, right? I was just like, it's fine. For those who don't know, here's my beautiful baby girl. Here's my other one. And let me just show you what we're talking about here, right? So the first thing I had noticed was these two little green pieces of plastic sitting on the floor mat. And I thought, well, those go to something. And they weren't there like 2 days ago when I cleaned this car, which ironically is already very dirty again. But if we look up under the dash, we have the steering column, right? Well, I guess our steering column is this way, that guy. And then that's our steering shaft. There's a bearing here that goes through the firewall. And then there's some linkage in the engine bay. But when I looked under the dash here, and I'm not supposed to be able to do what I'm about to do, that is not good. That green thing should not come out like it just did. So the little green pieces here essentially are the retainers that this green plastic bearing retainer uses to hold the entire steering shaft column assembly together. So if you're driving down the road and that breaks, like mine did, and that shaft slips out, you have a pretty high chance of losing all steering. After some research, apparently this is a very common thing, and it actually is a recall on all, like, I think it was 05 to 11 Crown Vics, Grand Marquis, and town cars. The years might be a little different, but basically all of the newer ones for well over a 5-year span have this recall. Now, the easy thing to do is you can call your local Ford dealer and basically just give them your VIN number and they can see if the car's ever had the recall work done. This currently really needs to be my daily driver. The GTO needs work and the Cobra is still MIA at the time of filming this. So we're gonna do what I saw one guy do on YouTube, right? I'm gonna copy this guy with my overexposed finger. We're gonna take some zip ties and we are going to make sure that this is not gonna come back out. All right, my phone is so close to my face, I really can't tell if you guys can see, but you guys are contortioned under here with me, and you can tell, oh, I got 2 zip ties on this side, and I got 1 over here. On the back side of this metal piece, there's like 2 ears. Now, I was able to put the zip tie through here and kind of go around the ear, like towards the middle of the back side, like center of this, and that was able to get me to pull tight and keep it underneath this metal piece here. So like when I turn the wheel, the zip ties don't interfere. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, I don't know. There's somebody on YouTube that claimed to have done this and it lasted for well over a year. So I'm hoping this can get me by for some time. Front tires are on the pavement now. Ignore the horrible power steering noises. I think this pump has been on its way out for about 3 years, and I just totally ignore it and leave the horribly dirty fluid in the system. Now obviously we're getting some whining noise, but there's no binding up, there's no popping or anything. So I guess really after a drive or two, it's gonna be the test to see if, you know, hitting some bumps is gonna ruffle its feathers at all. But I don't know, seems fine so far. All right, moment of truth. Well, we have all the other noises in the world, but so far the steering hasn't fallen apart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna blinker on, we're gonna clutch in, and we're gonna rip this righty and see. Nice and smooth. That's what I'm talking about. No op, no stop. Sorry, officer, my foot slipped off the clutch. For good measure, we gotta do a pull. Yeah, no scary pops, so I think we're fine. Here's after that quick drive. Doesn't look like it moved at all, so I guess I will be putting my life into the hands of these beautiful Harbor Freight zip ties. Alrighty guys, well that's where we're going to be wrapping up today's video. So far, she's been holding up good. I've been driving the car for the past couple days since I did the little zip tie fix. And it's been holding fine. Every so often I've been reaching under the steering column while I'm driving just to, you know, make sure that the bushing hasn't moved out at all. And it hasn't moved at all. The zip ties are still holding good. Again, I'm just going to put it out there. Don't go about this like this is a permanent fix if you were to do this on your own car. Obviously it's not. This is more of just like a get you out of trouble before you can get the car fixed, whether you're doing it yourself or you're having the dealership do it. I need to call my local dealer and see if Bonnie is eligible to have the recall work done for free. If that's the case, I hate to say it, I'll probably do it just so I don't have to pull the steering column out to do some weird pinning and drilling and whatever. I can't be bothered. That is like the last thing on my to-do list right now. So the zip ties are holding me by. Hopefully that continues to hold me by. And if not, then there will probably be a video about me totaling this car, or I'm just going to stop posting because I died. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I truly do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and even if you didn't enjoy, maybe you have one of these cars, or if you know somebody with one, at least you learned a little bit of tidbit of information. If you hear some weird noises and your steering gets weird and you find these little plastic green pieces on the floor, you're in deep shit. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one.